Thank you, Chairman. Ms. Bradford, in your testimony, did I understand you right? So that you want to end all plastic manufacturing?
I said the plastics industry must be stopped.
So does that mean end plastic manufacturing?
I mean, in my dream world, sure, but I think that, go ahead.
No, so I don't mean to be condescending here. I just point out, what's going to replace your glasses? Like,
So
why
I
would you wear
do
your
know,
glasses around your face? They're made of plastic.
maybe.
No,
I don't know what they're made out of.
They are. What about, and I'm just pointing out some things here, because I just want to be realistic when we're having conversations, because when statements are made like this, I just want to open people's eyes and say, well, okay, that's easy to say, but what's the solution? Your water bottle in front of you.
This one?
Yes. That plastic?
No.
The lid is. That's plastic.
Right. So
Right.
I would say to your
cell phone-
question that I would first be concerned about single-use plastics, and then we can talk about alternatives to this.
Your cell phone there. Is it plastic?
The cases, but it's glass because I broke
Oh, the components
this
inside of it's
screen
not
yesterday.
plastic? The components made out of it's not in plastic?
Welcome back, Patriots. You're watching Right View Nation, where truth meets backbone and common sense still rules the day. If you're tired of woke ideology, government overreach, and hypocritical elites preaching one thing and living another, you're in the right place. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into today's unbelievable moment on Capitol Hill. So in today's must-watch moment, Senator Markwayne Mullin took on an anti-plastics witness who came to testify about shutting down the plastics industry. And folks, it was a masterclass in exposing liberal hypocrisy. Let me walk you through what just happened, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one.
Yeah, they are. The water that you filled that water bottle up with, where'd you fill that water bottle up out of?
A water filling station.
All right, and it was delivered by a drink station that was plastic?
I didn't check.
The edges are. The piping coming to it. Now, you have a couple of choices with the piping. We could go back to using wood, but then you have to line it in chemical. Or we could go back and use lead, because we used to have water piping that was lead. That was harmful to us. We go back to galvanized, but galvanized rust and had discoloration. We go back to copper, but copper has to be mined, and everybody wants to stop mining in the U.S. So you use plastic to deliver piping that you fill that water bottle up with today. I point this out because the clothes you have on, I guarantee have plastic in it. The shoes you have on your feet, the soles of those shoes are plastic. So we talk about any plastic manufacturing, and everybody in here cheers when you say that, but everybody here is depending on plastic as you set. So if you want to end it, then quit using it. It's kind of like, I don't shop at certain places right now because I don't agree with some of their policies. I choose not to do that. You can choose to not use plastic. Do your work. If you believe it, then live it that way. And if not, then tell me what the solution is. Mr. Sunday, can you manufacture a car today without plastic? Because we talked about manufacturing, the chairman brought up manufacturing cars as it is safe, but the components that go into the cars today, can you do that without plastic?
No, Senator, and increasingly so with the new mileage mandates. You increasingly need to use automotive components that are plastics derived.
So we wouldn't have manufacturing, today's modern manufacturing, if we didn't have plastics, correct?
Correct.
Ms. Jackson, do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
So what's the alternative for manufacturing? Because the Democrats talk about middle-class wages. Middle-class wages typically come directly from manufacturing. What is it that we're manufacturing that doesn't have plastic in it today?
Nothing, and you know what? It would increase the cost of everything if we turn to an alternative, and it would disproportionately impact low-income people who have lower incomes. It would be another regressive tax on the poor.
So according to your testimony, Ms. Jackson, it sounds like you're saying that the environmental justice agenda does more harm than good for low-income families. Is that correct?
Yes, and you know, I have the unique opportunity to see both sides when the industry comes in the area and when it doesn't. As an auditor, I worked on Nissan North America. Nissan North America moved to Smyrna, Tennessee, where it built the largest automotive manufacturing plants. And the transformation was astonishing. I mean, it went from a community that was poor to a community that U.S. World News
Wow.
voted one of the top 10 places to retire. You had poor people in areas that were poor that became middle class. You had middle class people that became upper middle class, and a lot of upper middle class people that became affluent. They have attractions, they have amenities, they have housing, affordability. I mean, the amount of prosperity in that area has resonated out 3 counties. 3 counties. I've also had the opportunity to see when an industrial, and that wouldn't happen if you don't have an industrial complex moving into the area where you're talking about high economics. I've also seen the other side where all of a sudden you have deteriorating buildings, empty storefronts, dilapidated housing, people standing on street corner housing, that families that are broken. So we need to balance the fact that people's lives need economic upward mobility. And we can't just say, we're going to take out an industry and leave people poorer than they were. Poverty causes the worst health care in this country. Poverty is the one that destroys lives. It destroys health. It creates trauma. So we need to make sure that when we're talking about these issues, we take into account the human loss of life, not just the environmental impacts.
Thank you. Thanks for indulgence there.
The witness says, the plastics industry must be stopped. Really? That's your dream? You want to just shut down the industry that is behind almost everything we use in modern life? Now, I want y'all to think about this. She's sitting there, wearing plastic glasses, drinking from a plastic water bottle, using a cell phone, probably took an Uber there in a car filled with plastic parts, yet she's telling America to shut it all down. This is the exact kind of nonsense that the left loves. They want to destroy entire industries from their air-conditioned offices, sipping Starbucks, scrolling through iPhones, while working-class Americans pay the price. Senator Mullin, God bless him, wasn't having it. He started pointing out all the plastic products right in front of her, the water bottle, the phone, the clothes, the shoes. And guess what? She couldn't even answer where the plastic alternatives would come from. She stammered, she fumbled, and she had no solutions. Just more slogans and ideology. That's the problem. The left doesn't deal in reality. They deal in feelings, in dream worlds. Meanwhile, working families have to live in the real world where plastic isn't just convenient, it's essential. And then Senator Mullin hit the nail on the head. If you want to end it, then quit using it. Boom. You can't have it both ways. If you're going to preach about ending plastic, you better be willing to give up your car, your phone, your clothes, your medical supplies, even your food packaging. But they won't. They never do. This entire exchange revealed the absolute double standard the left lives by. They want the average American to suffer under their utopian policies, but they themselves? Nah. They'll keep their comfy lifestyle while telling you to sacrifice. Now let's talk about something even deeper. What plastics mean for American manufacturing. Senator Mullin brings in the manufacturing angle, and rightly so. He asks the critical question, can we even build a car today without plastic? And the answer, loud and clear, is no. That's not just a minor inconvenience. That's an economic death sentence. Without plastics, our manufacturing sector would collapse, prices would skyrocket, jobs would disappear. And who suffers most? Working-class Americans. And then Miss Jackson drops a truth bomb. Trying to replace plastics with expensive alternatives would destroy low-income communities. She calls it what it is, a regressive tax on the poor. Let that sink in, folks. The environmental justice warriors are hurting the very people they claim to protect. Their policies don't uplift, they oppress. They don't solve poverty, they prolong it. Jackson gave a powerful example. Nissan moved into a town in Tennessee, brought industry, and turned a poor, struggling area into one of the top 10 places to retire in the country. That's what real opportunity looks like. That's what economic freedom can do when government gets out of the way and industry is allowed to thrive. But the radical left, they want to take us backwards. They want to destroy the industries that made America great. They want to eliminate plastics, fossil fuels, gas stoves. What's next? Are we going to churn butter and ride horses to work? Now, let's be clear. We all care about the environment, but we also care about reality. We care about jobs. We care about feeding our families and living in a country where innovation is possible. That means we don't throw away an entire industry because it makes a few activists feel better. The left's war on plastics isn't about science, it's about control. It's about forcing a green agenda onto everyday Americans without giving us real alternatives or solutions, and they think we're too dumb to notice. Well, guess what? We're not. At Right View Nation, we believe in real solutions, not fantasies. We believe in American workers, American manufacturing, and American common sense. So to all the Markwayne Mullins out there, keep fighting. To all the Americans watching, stand strong. Don't be fooled by empty rhetoric. Defend the industries that built this country. Push back against the hypocrisy. And always, always fight for freedom. If you like this breakdown, hit that thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the war on plastics? And are you ready to stand up for American industry? Until next time, stay bold, stay free, and stay proud. This is Right View Nation, where patriots rise.